Drag Race Season 13 is here. We have 13 brand new queens, and we immediately open the gate with a huge twist. So this episode was all about lip syncs, and we got to witness 6 lip sync battles. That might actually be a record for Drag Race. I don't know, but it was a lot, and the whole episode. Can you even imagine getting your name called to be on RuPaul's Drag Race? You walk out into the workroom, Ru comes on the screen and it says, "Hey, why don't you come out to the main stage? I'm gonna kick one of you out." It would have been pretty nerve-wracking, and we could see for the majority of the queens that came in, nerves seemed to be running extremely high. If you were in that situation, you would be too. But let's jump into our episode, run through all of our new queens, and I'll just try to give a quick opinion on all of them. Our first matchup was Joey J, the filler queen, versus Candy Muse. Honestly, I wasn't too impressed by either of these queens. Candy seems to have just a overwhelming level of arrogance that just never sits right with me. I know it's pretty common on this show and we see it every year, but not something I like to cheer for when I'm sitting at home watching. So Candy, you're on my not so great list. Overall, this lip sync between Joey and Candy was probably the worst one out of the 6, and I thought it could have gone either way. Joey seemed like the better performer. Candy had a few moments that made the panel laugh, and that seemed to be valued more than actual talent today. So Candy wins, and Joey J is our first queen sent to the pork chop delivery loading waiting room, whatever the hell they were calling it. Next up, we had Denali versus Lala Ree. Denali, immediately someone who caught my eye. I really liked Denali's personality. I loved the drag. Thought it was awesome seeing Denali come out in the figure skates. And then there was just that moment when Denali realized, like, oh crap, I'm going to have to lip sync in these figure skates. And I thought she absolutely killed it. We saw her wobble a few times and maybe the moves weren't as clean as if she wasn't wearing figure skates, but I thought this was a far gone, I thought Denali absolutely crushed it. Lala Ree didn't really give me anything. I wasn't buying it. I wasn't interested in it. My eyes were on Denali the whole lip sync, and then somehow Lala Ree wins, and it was a little bit of a head scratcher for me. And now we're in a position where we know the twist that one of the bottom 7 is gonna get sent home, and they got to vote each other out. And for her to be at risk, it really bothers me because she did not deserve to lose, and there she is sitting in the bottom. Next up, we had Symone versus Tamisha Iman. Tamisha, she's got the great story. She's been doing drag for, I believe she said, over 30 years. Was cast for last season, but got cancer right before she was going to leave for the show, so she wasn't able to come on the show. So here she is on this year, this great story, and she immediately loses. I thought this was probably the closest lip sync. Neither of them were really giving me much. I thought Symone got better as the drag race, or the lip sync progressed, and just eked out the victory there. So overall, I thought Tamisha Iman was probably the weakest lip syncer out of the 7 that landed in the Pork Chop Lounge, and could be at risk of going home. And I think that would just be pretty tragic. Come on, Drag Race, do one lip sync, get kicked off, have the moment where you think you might be able to come back and then immediately get kicked off again, especially for someone who got on the show last year, went through all these trials and tribulations, gets back on the show again this year. So hopefully not, but we will see. Our next two queens, Gottmik and Utica Queen. Immediately, I liked Utica. All of the diary room stuff was amazing. Seems like a huge personality, kind of goofy, kind of kooky. I really liked Crystal Method. And of course, I'm going to be a huge fan of Utica Queen. I was rooting for her the whole time. I thought she absolutely crushed it in the lip sync. And then somehow she also loses. Gottmik wins. Felt like Gottmik was, didn't look very polished, didn't really have any moves, and I thought, oh yeah, Utica, that's an easy decision. Utica wins, and then Gottmik gets announced as the winner. It seems like to me so far all Gottmik has going is amazing eye makeup, and that's about it. So not sure how some of these decisions were made, but here we are. Some of these queens in the bottom have no business being there, and sadly, we could see one of them go home next week. Next up, we had Rosé versus Olivia Lux. Rosé looks like an absolute pro and has to be considered one of the favorites here. And once again, somehow she loses the lip sync. Rosé, she's been on America's Got Talent. She's been on The Voice. And here she is on Drag Race, does one lip sync, and in the bottom. I just really hope we don't see her go home because I want to see more Rosé. I liked her in the Meet the Queens. I liked her in this first episode, and I want more. And lastly, we had a three-way lip sync between Tina Burner, Kimora Hall, and Elliott with two T's. First off, let's just throw this out there. Tina Burner looked like an absolute professional. She was absolute polish, looked fantastic, totally crushed it, and it was like a professional out there with two amateurs. Not that Kimora Hall and Elliott with two T's were bad. It just seemed to me like Tina was on another level. Even just talking to the judges, Tina was on another level. So that was an absolute smashing by Tina Burner, and kind of overshadowed everything we saw from Kimora Hall and Elliott with two T's. They were both queens I felt have a lot of potential to go far on this show. I didn't like how shady Kimora is. Seemed like everything out of her mouth in the workroom was shade, and I don't really like that. But really polished, looked great, absolutely blew Carson away when she started talking about fashion. I think that was Carson's moment of the night, hearing about her Bob Mackie dress, and his eyes were just like, whoa, like, are you serious? Kind of cool. And then Elliott with two Ds. Maybe not that show-stopping runway look, but I really liked Elliott with two T's overall style, look, personality, the moves. I thought she looked great in the lip sync and was someone that I really liked. So now we're left with 7 bottoms, and they've been told that they have to vote one of the 7 out. I'm really interested to see how that goes. Especially when no one's really even talked to each other, let alone have any clue like what kind of queen they are, how they perform, anything. It seems totally bizarre to me, and I'm just going to throw it on a prediction out there that none of them actually end up going home, and we go into next week with the full 13 queens. All right, so who did I like? I liked Rosé. I liked Utica Queen. I like Denali. I think those were all queens that lost. Tina Burner has to be a favorite immediately. And I kind of a little bit liked Elliott with two T's. So that's where I'm at for this first episode of Drag Race. I'll be back again next week, so hope you are too. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you then.